Hello, welcome to day one of the Soul Innovator 30-day adventure 2018. We're going to share this with our friends and then we'll get started. Oh, somebody's joining. Oh, hey, Umair. How are you, hon? Let's see if we can share this in our group. And I made this public, so if there's someone you feel like you've been wanting to have experience with this with you, I know a lot of people invite their friends to do this 30-day together. Hey, Kim. Okay. I am... This is in a very precarious position. Okay. All right. Here we go. Hi, Steph. Aw. All right. All right. I think we're good. All right. Welcome to the first day of this year's 30-day adventure. We'll just bring you up to speed if this is your first time joining us. So this is an experience that I started in 2016. And so this August 2016, I was at a crossroads, I was at an impasse, had a lot of impact and a pretty big platform with my work. And I was supporting a lot of people with a program I had created that year called the Soul Navigation Map. And the whole idea of it is really understanding like how to actually follow your soul and your desire and look at your relationship with yourself and other people and your mission and your spirit, and understand that anywhere you're challenged, you're actually here to be an innovator and teach something in that area, because we're at a time where so much is dismantling and being rebuilt. So I'd been working with a lot of people through that whole year, and I found myself like, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, was like kind of what was going on for me. So I was like leaving I had really wanted to move to Venice Beach, which is where I live now. I didn't know how to like have that desire, and I couldn't believe that it could actually work out. And so instead I had moved to this house in the woods for the summer in Oregon, which was very nice, but it was like, it was meant to just have me really be with myself and really look at like, hey, you didn't let yourself have what you wanted in the first place. I was still in a relationship with someone in Chicago, and they were still living in the place we were at. I'm noticing that the energy of this year, I'm going to be incredibly vulnerable. That I guess every year has been quite vulnerable, and I know a lot of you open and have a lot of vulnerability in these experiences, but I notice what I'm already being called to share has been way more vulnerable than I would have normally started out with. But that's how we're doing it this year. So I invite you to just like open yourself up to that. And I think part of what that is about is this year's theme is about our real legacy and really having self-worth and really creating things with true longevity. And I see my friends are on here, Erin, Kim, all types of wonderful people I love connecting with are here. This is great. And so I'm noticing, by the way, that I'm just launching right in. The energy is moving through me, and it's just, I'm here to be super vulnerable this time around. And I think that's because the more vulnerable we are, the more it's about the fact that we feel worthy. It's okay for people to know, right? It's okay to share our heart. It's okay to share where we've been. It's okay to share where we've tripped up, because when we have a certain level of self-worth, we can really be honest about what's really going on. And I think that's why this is going to have to be, and I'm very grounded this year. I'm grounded in a reference point of knowing it's okay. I'm grounded in a reference point of how phenomenal the experiences of this program have been for people. There's like some sort of helicopter right over my window. And I'm working a lot with plant medicine, with CBD and with Qigong. And so I'm like in a very grounded place where I think I'm open and ready and willing to be very vulnerable this year. So this is a year, I'm just feeling the energy is already like that. This program started in 2016 because I was at a crossroads. I had to figure out what I was going to do next, where I was going to live. Part of me knew the relationship was like kind of hanging by a thread there. And I wanted to model truth and integrity and transparency, which are always been the values of what I do. So I realized, hey, August 15th is the anniversary of the Soul Navigation Map being launched, which had been this really big, like 400 people had done this program. It had been a big part of that year. And so I was like, cool, let's do a 30-day adventure where every day I'm going to share a teaching that comes through the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are the foundation of any program or anything you've ever done with me. It's like the universe has a filing cabinet, and everything of vibration has a file. These videos, your life, your relationships, your animals, where you live, right? The world. And we speak a prayer that accesses the energy of this vibrational filing cabinet, and then the guides and guardians and teachers that run that run the Akashic Records support us to get the information, and then we learn how to translate the energy in a way that it then comes into this world through projects, through relationships, through healings, through a profound understanding of a decision you need to make. So that was the foundation of how these 30-day adventures got started. Was I realized I was embodying something I was here to teach. I realized that healing happens in community, not in isolation. And I realized that it was the anniversary of a program that was all about being honest about how powerful you are and what you want, and letting your relationships and life love you and support you and guide you. And that the Akashic Records were going to oversee the whole experience for us. Malik's here, Kate's here. Man, this is a great group. I'm super excited already. Laura Gaber, you were always in the first one. It is so good to see you all here. And my intention for this year is, like, we have obviously the community, the Facebook community, but I would love to just keep the engagement, keep people sharing, keep people witnessing each other. The people who have gotten the most out of this program, and I get emails really every week from people who have changed their financial experience, their health, their jobs, their career, relationship, all these things, and it all happened for them during these 30 days. And I will tell you that I'm actually living inside of the energy of this 30-day adventure. Like, that's how I ended up in Venice Beach. That's how I was kind of, hey Maureen, catapulted into the work I've been doing since I've been here. All of that, like, I really think about it all the time, that the work of the soul navigation map that then brought us to do this 30-day adventure, I'm really still living inside of that. I found the place of my dreams. I had a very intense first year of it, my halfway through the kind of the climactic moment, my relationship like changed form, and then it was like I had to really be honest about where I wanted to go, and then I ended up finding my dream home where I wanted to be in the first place, right? So every day I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm living inside of the energy of these 30-day adventures and what was created for me inside of this community. And every day I get the privilege of so many people who also like share that they're a lot of the great things in their life are part of living inside the energy of this 30-day adventure. And so I'm so pleased and happy and privileged to like have everyone still be excited to continuously keep it going. This is our third year. And what I really want for this third year is, you've been probably seeing Dan's here, Hector, we got some new people here. I'm loving it. I will put a link to join us, or you can look at the post right underneath this one, and you can join us and register. It's free to do this. And so this year is about legacy, and it's about self-worth. And I guess I hope I'm not as all over the place as I feel, but there's so much energy running here right now. I started with saying this is going to be a year about vulnerability, right? And I'm just giving it to you straight. And I know so many of you are so vulnerable and share so much in these public videos, and like I have such gratitude for that. And this year is about really having the self-worth and the self-love to actually build a foundation. So these 30-day videos will build a foundation that is long-lasting. I'm still living inside of a lot of what I've manifested. I know a lot of other people are too. But this year, I would like us to like really have that intention from the get-go of like, I'm going to take this 30 days and I'm going to experience a level of self-worth and self-trust and self-value that's unlike anything I've ever experienced, because there's a lot of amazing things in your field around money and purpose and career and how you're going to make an impact, and around the relationships with yourself and with other people and with partners and with family and potential clients and collaborators. Like, there's a lot of incredible opportunities that are in your field that you have to be in a certain level of self-worth to actually see and follow through on. So oftentimes we're really drawn, we don't realize it, but we're being attracted. Oh man, the whole gang is here. Debbie's here. We're being drawn and attracted to things that are just going to be short term, right? And we are seeing the way a lot of what our legacy has been are things that are no longer serving our consciousness or our planet, right? We want to rip those legacies out at the root and create a new legacy, and it's time to build that. And we also see the way we've like gone for things and for manifestations and for desires where like we hoped it would last, but we didn't really trust it would last. And so I already know the power of the longevity of what can be created in this container. And so I was like, wow, when I checked in with the Akashic Records, it was like, it's just self-worth. Everything's about self-worth for the rest of the year. Like that's all you're going to be guided to share and create for yourself and create for other people. And from that self-worth is where we will actually build legacy, where we will actually build like, who were you meant to be on this planet when you are, you know, having the sort of money that allows you to be a very resourceful, generous, creative person because you're not so distracted by the little minutia, right? And like, who are you on this planet when you feel really good and honored and respected by yourself, and that's reflected by the other people? Oh, my life is complete. Glad to be doing this again, right? Oh, cool. My life is completely different since last time, right? So like, who would we all be? Like, I'm just so excited about this. Like, who would we all be if we are living and relating and receiving like people who have a lot of self-worth, so that the things that are in your legacy to create and share and give can actually come through? Because we just, you know, this is simple, but it's like when you're depleted, oh, I just opened my journal to my life moves forward through desire. Cool. Hi, Kiana. Hey. So yeah, we're going to talk like all about those. Actually, we'll start with desire because it's an interesting thing that just happened this morning. So this week also, I was on From Heartache to Joy. Some of you know that telesummit. And as I said, like everything's about self-worth and legacy for the rest of this year. So I created this program that brings you even deeper into these teachings. And so if you're interested in it, I'll put a link to it. It was just launched this week as well. And so I worked with this woman today, and I noticed when I was on this telesummit, she was the first person to opt in. She was like the first person to purchase the program. She was the first person to book an appointment to work with me, right? Like there was an energy of like, yes. And when we got on the call together, she was laughing because she was like, you know, I thought I needed to do this program because I didn't know what my purpose was, and like I'm feeling unsure. And there might be some of you who are like, I don't know, God help me with this 30-day. Like I hope there's something in there. But it was like she thought that she was kind of floundering, but then she actually ran. So there's MP3s that come with this program. She played them overnight, all night. And so when she woke up in the morning, she had like everything she wants to do with work, with movement and dance and art. She had like a whole inbox of people who wanted to hire her. You know, and like all these amazing opportunities with all the things she wants to do. So she was like, I realized like I don't actually have a question about purpose. And we were both like, no, this is just about desire. It's exactly, oh, I'm so glad this is your first live. Welcome. This is just about desire. That's it. You know what I mean? Because all she changed, she didn't promote herself. She wasn't out there like, hey, hire me for this. But she said yes to having her legacy. She said yes to having a new type of self-worth. So much so she was like the first person to be like, oh yeah, I'm doing that, you know, and purchase and sign up and do the thing. And then she was like, yeah, I'm gonna like create an awesome like subconscious healing for myself overnight. And what happened was that changed her energy. It's like so much of what is going to change for you is just all the little things you do that no one even knows about, right? There's so many successful people and powerful people, and we sort of know that an overnight success is 10 years in the making. You've probably heard of that before, right? But it's like, same with this sort of manifestation is not just about the things people know you do or the things that you can prove you did. So much of it is just like the little actions that you're just doing that let life know like, oh, I'm ready for this. We're working with the law of readiness here. And so she reverberated that out into the world of like, oh, I'm very ready for this. So people who didn't know that she wanted more clients in this way or more opportunities in this way, she just suddenly came into their mind because something shifted literally in the last 24 hours. And all that shifted was she stopped pretending that she didn't have desire, and she stopped pretending she was confused and let herself really want this. So for today, I want to really encourage you to just fire, manifest desire, and desire produces movement. Yeah, absolutely. Like, let that be a catalyst. Hi, Emily. So for today, like, we're just, Alinka's on. Hello, my love. We're just all getting into this, right? Like, we're just all settling in. I wanted to just give you a little bit of a backstory of like, this has been vulnerable. It can be a little bit of a roller coaster. It always is for me. I welcome that because I understand I'm here to embody what I'm here to teach, and as all of you, right? And like, all of us who have really committed to these 30 days live inside of the beauty and the magic of it, I think, forever on. But this year in particular is going to be freaking awesome because we're really going to like consciously work with that. And then the other thing, hey Christina, the other thing I'm going to be doing this year that I really have found, and I brought this up in the opt-in as well, I'm really having a deep experience with plant medicine. So I'll be working with Prime My Body hemp oil throughout this 30-day adventure. And I would really encourage you, if you want to get a bottle, I'll have a link or you can reach out to me. But I've found that something that happens in these 30-day adventures is you have to confront the thing. The price of admission to the other side is confronting the thing you thought you couldn't handle. And I certainly have had to do that both years. I know many people who got the results they wanted had to do that too. And I've really found that working with the spirit of hemp and the hemp plant and CBD, which our body actually has receptors and is waiting to have, I've found that it really supports me to really confront and embrace, like to go from confrontation to embracing what's possible on the other side of that. So I would recommend that you start to really think about deep relaxation of your nervous system, and just decide, not only is this going to be the most magical, profound, potent self-worth legacy month ever, certainly of 2018, but why not ever? But like, let this be the month that you learn how to deeply relax and deeply allow. Yeah, Kiana is someone who's had an incredible experience with this plant as a huge ally in growth and transformation, and has really inspired me with that, as is Alinka, who's on here as well. So I just want to kind of encourage you to start thinking about it this way. And then the final thing is, you'll see the longer article below, but we'll just kind of get into the topic for today, and then we'll go into the energy. And so the topic that came through for today is just all about learning to love this container. And I think that's why I felt so called to just kind of talk the way we've been talking just now. And I put in the article how, I've been someone, and maybe you can relate, where like when I feel something, I just dive in, right? Like I've dove into relationships that way, to practices, to businesses. Like I feel deeply. I think a lot of you on here can relate. Like when you feel deeply and you're just like, yes, and you're motivated. And sometimes that's motivated by like pressure and compression and stress, and it's like, oh my God, maybe this will be the thing that helps, or like maybe this will be the thing that makes me feel better, or maybe this will be the thing that changes my circumstances. So sometimes it can come from like I'm just an open vessel and I feel, and this feels like a yes, and sometimes it's like it feels that way and it's actually motivated by wanting to not have to be with ourselves or be in the situation we're in, right? And so when it's motivated when we step into things with no clear agreements, with no clear boundaries, with no ability to support our nervous system to say like, hey, this isn't forever. Because I'm someone who created a lot of forever relationships without any boundaries. And like, you can guarantee that is not going to be a forever situation. That cannot be a legacy relationship. That cannot be a long-term legacy relationship, because the self-worth that you need to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm safe with or without this. So let me like take a minute and get clear on what would I need? What would you need? Like, how is this going to work? Let's create a smaller container of time to explore this, right? Like that takes self-worth. That takes confidence that you're valuable, and that if it's not this, it's going to be something better, right? So I really want us to use that in this 30-day, because I feel like that's a really huge one, is that if you're like me, you might have dove into a lot of things as if like, nope, don't need to know anything else. That's just how it's going to be, right? And so as I wrote in the article, like something that really changed for me inside of this, the first 30 days, right, is like I had to really confront all the relationships and the ways I had built relationships with my work and with my partner and with my health and my fit, like just things that weren't sustainable because I hadn't really taken a moment to create a container and get clear and have the self-worth and self-value to make sure it worked on both sides. And what you'll find with these 30 days is that the energy is going to carry from one 30-day to the next. And so yesterday I was coaching, as I say in this, I was coaching a group of students who are all in 30-day relationship containers that recently started. And they're exploring certain aspects of relationship. And I love that. And that's why I love this 30 days, because what happens is your nervous system can relax and you can really get clear and honor like what you need, and you can just explore and play. And what happens is the benefits and the things that are created inside of that 30 days are what will actually build a legacy for you, because you're now built on a foundation of self-worth. To say like, this is what I can agree to in this moment before I know anything else, is this 30 days. And I would invite you in this 30 days to begin to know like, hey, certain plans feel different once they're executed. Certain plans in planning phase and energetic phase feel different once they're actually executed. And so give yourself the space to have compassion to know you may need to course correct. So I just want to I hope you all look at that article. I want to just look at a couple of those points, and then we'll just go into the energy. And I also really want to invite you to share or post or like anything that is really coming up for you with this, and then we'll begin the activation. So yeah, you know, I put a lot of this in the article, but you know, let's see. These are some wisdom that really came out of the group coaching that happened last night, that I think it's for people who are in a romantic or friendship exploratory container for 30 days. But I was like, oh, of course, like I'm going to coach people on this the day before this starts. Like we're going to get some good gems for the group. So here's some things that came through that I think would be great for you to think about. Explore what you've felt like, you know, explore how you felt about beginning things in the past. Have you always dove in? Have you just known, like, if I want this, I have to agree to anything? Have you felt nervous about beginnings? Have you gotten time to celebrate beginnings? Like, these are the sort of things. We're at the beginning of this 30-day container, and I want you to begin to, like, explore and think about if this is based on self-worth, on a different level of self-worth than you've ever had, and also if it's based on creating your actual legacy on the planet with how you live here and how you experience and receive and, you know, like have your wealth and have your relationships. Like, how would you like to begin this, right? And how would you begin this knowing you're only opting in at this point for 30 days? Like for right now, it's only 30 days. So again, we want to honor the nervous system and really like meet yourself where you're at. Remember that whenever you're in a relationship container with anything that appears as outside of you, which could be another person or it could be whatever goal or thing you want to create in this 30-day container, hi Michelle, then you also want to realize like you're in a new 30-day container with yourself. Hi Megan. So you've never experienced yourself in this way before. So as much as you're in a container with the other or with the thing, you're in this new 30-day relationship with yourself. And you want to really pay attention to that, especially because we're going to do so much around worth and value. Understand how serving the other is serving you. And if it's not, if the way you're serving your goals or serving another person, if it's not actually serving you in some way, then you need to course correct that. If you're not able to stay in a level of self-worth while doing that, then you need to course correct that, right? And it's just helpful to realize how it's serving you, because when we don't take the time to understand the positive impact and the nourishment we're getting from being in service to something, you can't help but become resentful. So that's key for the 30 days, so you don't start resenting this. And you're also you're in a new container with me. Like suddenly you're hearing me all the time if you've watched the videos or you're reading the words, right? Like I really honor and respect that. Like you're choosing to opt in and really spend some time with me, and I thank you for that. And like think about what that might need to look like, you know, and take what works and let what doesn't go. And if I trigger you, that's probably a good thing. And like also honor where you might need some space. Okay. Know when it's of service to go deeper into the fire and when it's of service to stand back and not go so into the fire. So sometimes when there's only 30 days, we can put a lot of pressure. I noticed this because I did a lot of 30-day more romantic relationship containers since I moved to Venice, because I was healing so much and learning so much about who I wanted to be in that way. And I found that when you have a shorter amount of time, you can tend to push things to be more intense emotionally and, you know, energetically and spiritually and physically, because you're trying to get the most out of the 30 days. And oftentimes it's the masculine partner or the masculine part of ourselves that's like, yeah, you know, like, let's get in there. We have 30 days. We got to rock this out. And then the feminine part of us can feel really boundary crossed or really exploited, or sort of like, this felt more like an experiment for you than an actual relationship with me. So inside of you, you have a masculine and a feminine. So your masculine might be drawn to be like, let's go crazy. And your feminine is going to have to be like, hey, can we not go crazy just to go crazy? Like, we're building a legacy here. We're building our self-worth. So we want to remember that. And we want to know when it's just our ego that would knock it to the next level. And actually the more powerful, strong thing to do would be to stand a little further back from the fire, because this is only 30 days, and let's support our nervous systems with this. The magic often happens in the subtle, organic moments, not the grand gestures. So anyone here, you probably know, right? Like, there's those moments that you've probably had in relationship, whether it's like in a sexual experience or with family or with friends or whatever, like, right? Like, there's those little moments that like are just in your heart forever and change something deeply inside of you. And they're often not the grand gesture moments. They're often like this little tiny, oh my gosh, my heart just opened. So just know that that could happen. Just relax. That's why I love the hemp oil. It holds your body. Just relax and know a lot of the magic is going to happen in these subtle organic moments. And if you don't know what to ask for from this container or from another person, you can always ask, what would feel good to give to me? And we're actually going to go into the energy before we complete here and ask that. What would feel good? And they can also ask you the same question. So you can ask the container, how would it feel good to receive my energy? 30-day container. And you can also ask the 30-day container, how would it feel good to give to me? And all of that, it sounds funny, but I live in the world of the Akashic Records. And my favorite thing about it, and why I have such a passion for teaching that modality, is because everything begins to have a consciousness. And you can just start to speak to your money, to your projects, and to your programs, and to your home, and to your animals, and to things that were previously nonverbal or non-communicative. You realize like literally everything has an energy field, and so you can create a consciousness and an energetic discussion. So we're definitely going to want to do that there. And then the final one is, we're not really, I guess, ready for it yet, but I was so touched by realizing how true this was, especially for the feminine partner or the feminine part of you. The way we complete something is so important. And we were joking about this last night with like some of the men in this group, that it's like, women remember the end and only the end. Like, we don't care if you did a good job a third of the way in. Like, we remember how you finished something. And I don't know, you more feminine related people on here can tell me if you resonate, but I was like, wow, that is so true, right? Like, that is so true, that we really need, when we've really opened, and this experience is going to really open you, right? It's just, there's something about really being honest with your self-worth and your legacy and your desire that's very tender and very vulnerable and may cause some emotion, right? And we're all here to support each other. And so we want to really give dignity and love and honor to how true that is, and complete in a very loving, conscious way. So we're going to keep moving with that, but I want that agreement to, that's okay, love, we record this. I want that agreement to just kind of be there already, that we're going to complete this with honor and with love and with reverence for where you're going to take yourself in this container. Okay, cool. So that's like really what today is about. And again, like, feel free to share anything. And now we're just gonna go into the energy to complete. And so we're just gonna take some breaths here. As always, we start with breath. For me, I'm gonna bring in the hemp oil because I love this plant and I find it very supportive. And just feel yourself calling in whatever on the earth could support you to feel calm and relaxed right now. And invite yourself to begin to feel and receive the energy of everything that is here to open for you in this 30 days around your self-worth and around your true legacy on the planet. Why you're really here. And let it just first come in as just like a very gentle, just like nourishing energy. It's just going to come in through breath. We don't need to understand everything intellectually. We just want to begin to build a relationship with our body, our nervous system, our energy, our consciousness, with a relationship with what we're here to create. And just see what that feels like in your system. Just take 4 more breaths that way. Really good. And just ground your feet to the floor. Say yes to being on this planet, being in this body. This is the right body and the right planet for you. There is no mistake. And this is the right body and the right planet for you to really experience all the beauty and the prosperity and the love and the breakthroughs that you're going to have. This is exactly right. So just take a moment to really sink into the rightness of this is the right timing, this is the right place, these are the right people, this is the right day to begin. Just feel yourself becoming the frequency of just rightness. And just become really right with the idea that it's right for you to have even more self-worth. Where you've been before was right, but where you are in this moment, where you're going to go is really right also. It's really right. And it's right for you to have a epic legacy on this planet. There's enough room for everyone to be in their legacy. Like, can you just imagine how amazing this planet would be? Like, every person's legacy is completely unique to them. There's plenty of room. So I want you to just feel the way you can take up some space here, maybe stretch the body, but it's right for you to have a new level of self-worth, and it's right for you to be someone who would have a really big, profound legacy in this lifetime. There's plenty of room for that. Take some breaths. And now we're just going to open the records here with every breath. Breathing in this rightness. We're calling upon the guides, the guardians, the teachers of the Akasha that guide this 30 days. We're inviting them in. We're inviting in, I just feel all of your ancestry here. So like all aspects of the ancestry that are celebrating you coming into your true legacy. Feel them here with you and feel the 30-day container is actually being created around you right now. So for each person, as we've come into our rightness, we've relaxed, we've called in the energy, right? Like I now actually feel for each one of you, like feel the 30-day container, the one that's for you, because you're having a relationship with this inside of a collective experience of people having a relationship with this. But each person, it's very important for you to understand this. It's not just everyone in a playpen. This is what I'm being told to say. It's like each one of us is in a very deep relationship with this container. If you want that. If you want that, then, opt in, right? And we're like all together kind of like cruising around, but everyone's in their own deep container. Know that, receive that. And so begin to feel as you really call in the truth of the ancestry and the guardians, the guides, your own higher self, that this beautiful container is starting to be lovingly built around you. And you can just relax into it. It's made just for you. Take a few breaths here. I'm calling upon now the soul lineage of each person who's watching this activation live or recorded in their highest experience of self-worth, in their most potent experience of really being in this container, like the part of them that is completely ready to receive all the miracles they're not sure they can have yet that could happen in this container. So feel that part of you just coming in, especially at the throat. Breathe in here and let this come especially in the throat. The way you're wanting to communicate this week in particular, we want to start communicating differently. Whatever happened before this 30 days is honestly not relevant while you're in the 30 days, right? And sort of like if we were talking about the 30-day relationships, like it's a place to heal and alchemize what happened in the past, but you don't want to spend your 30 days processing and feeling bad about what came before, because it's just bringing that into your cellular field, and we're building a container. We don't want the container built from that. So know that you will alchemize and heal and release whatever came before, but speaking about that is not so relevant. It's really not. And so we want to begin to feel like the way you're going to express and communicate, you might just want to like move your shoulders and your throat and just begin to, the color I'm seeing here is gold. Like you have a gold, like picture your throat and the words that are expressed from your throat of like solid gold, like legacy. Like if these were the words, oh yeah, like if these were the words that really build and express and reflect your legacy, how would you speak? If these were the words that could activate you having the love and the worth, the self-value and the worth that would allow you to stop suffering in your life, how would you speak? If these 30 days were the only words that were ever going to be written down from your life, how would you speak? Woo. Take some breaths here. Clear out whatever you got to clear out so you can speak from that place. And we're also just opening the Akashic vibrational record of this 30-day container. We're starting just the right way to build a legacy. I'm really getting a lot of confirmation on that. And, you know, may we work together with love and integrity for this 30 days for the highest possible good, the best possible outcome for every person who has opted in and connected to this, and for all of those who are connected to the stories of our soul. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yes, 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 the records are open. This 30 days is officially open, and you're in the field of your own magnificent creation of a container. And so just take a few breaths here, and if you can, like bring your head upwards just to really experience the vastness of what's here and the connection to something higher and bigger in what's possible. And let's just let it be known as we relax our forehead and our eyes and our brain. We'll just let it be known to all the energies that are here that we're ready. We're ready for the physical form of everything that is currently formless. We have said yes, and we're in a clear agreement, and we are really receiving and accepting this form, this container, this 30 days. We're going to be really clear and conscious about that. And so we are absolutely ready for everything that is right now energetic or formless to just come into our life and be turned to form. I'm thinking of my dear friend this morning, right, who said yes and took some actions that reverberated, I'm ready. And then the formless came into form when she woke up, right? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're ready for here. So we're just going to drop in and just be in the peace of that for a few breaths. Okay. The last thing we're going to do here is you're just going to know that for each one of us, there's someone from our legacy from this incarnation or another. So this might be a relative or someone you recognize, or it might be like you don't recognize them, but you know they must hold some sort of meaning to this incarnation or to your soul, or it might look like something else. Just be really open and receptive to whatever it is. And just feel that ancestral energy as you begin to build a legacy of self-worth. Just feel the embrace, feel this guide or guardian is going to actually watch and love you through this whole process of these 30 days. There's just in particular a very specific guide or guardian, and whatever you're seeing or feeling here is great. And they actually could be living. It might be the spirit of someone who's living is watching. It's not necessarily someone who's died is what I'm seeing. And so just relax here as you relax into their embrace and into knowing they're overseeing this, guiding you, supporting you, mentoring you, in addition to all the other amazing energies that are going to be received through this experience. And now feel their love as they kind of like push you off into the energy, push you off into this adventure. It's like they were there to see you and bless you, and it's like a parent dropping a kid off for summer camp, and it's like, all right, have a good 4 weeks. I'm with you energetically. My love is with you, but go do it. So that's the sort of energy we're with here now. And now we're just going to say yes, right? We're just going to say yes. We're going to say yes to however this container wants to give to us, wants to serve. We're going to say yes to how we're going to contribute and serve. So much of why this works is because so many of you opt in. That's this energy that I work with likes to engage. It likes to play with people. It likes to create gatherings. So the reason this works is because all of you are serving just by stepping in. And there may be other ways you'll serve too. And so we'll just take a few more breaths, really receiving this energy. Awesome. As you're ready, wiggling the fingers and toes. I just want to read some of these. Christina is saying something cool. Very gently, and just hear this. This is Christina as a amazing healer. So just gently, this is what's coming through. Today, the Virgin Mother of, this is a very high holy spiritual day. This is the feast of the Assumption of Mary. That's funny, I was actually wearing a Mother Mary t-shirt all day. I just changed, actually, I didn't realize that. Today, the Virgin Mother of God was taken up into heaven in the beginning, and the pattern of the church in its perfection, and a sign of hope and comfort for your people on your way. You would not allow decay to touch her body, for she had given birth to your Son, the Lord of all life, in the glory of incarnation. So how I'm receiving that is, well, those are very potent words, and it's also just where this is a celebration of transition and of legacy and of creation, and of really honoring the feminine vessel, really honoring the body that's going to take us through this whole experience. Thank you for sharing that, Christina. Wow, what a beautiful day. So I think we're onto something good. Yeah, I felt the ancestor coming through for me is my grandma, who committed suicide at 25. Wow. Part of my legacy has been healing her and telling her she's okay. Her energy has come through as feeling like a failure, which manifested as poor self-worth for my mom and myself, but we're healing each other today. Wow, what a beautiful message. And I'm struck by the idea of, like, you know, someone could have transitioned out of here at 25 and yet still created a legacy of people, right? And women who are doing the work and doing the healing. And to me, this is really what the Soul Innovator teachings that, you know, are the basis of all, that's what this is about. Like, you are the innovator, right? You are soul innovating that pattern. Your grandmother had the soul experience of this lifetime of, like, the sacrifice, right? And you're the one here grounding a lot of that and healing that. That's really beautiful. I had my grandmother, the one who is still alive, actually come through. So yeah, it's fun if you want to share who's guiding this and supporting this, and this is going to be great. So I think we're complete for right now. Yeah, she needs to hear this. Yes. You can just let her know, like, she created an amazing legacy in the time, in the container that she was here for. I feel like we're complete for right now, and I know we'll make these shorter each day. I painted Mother Mary yesterday, and my mom just showed up to support me in this energy a big surprise in my mind, and I felt received with love. Mom still walks in this life, and I felt her too. I feel like I almost have to show you all what I was wearing today, because it's like, I was like, oh, maybe I won't wear this t-shirt, but this is actually the shirt. This is the shirt I've been working in all morning. So and I didn't realize what today was, but this is what I mean. Hi, Shelby. This is the fun of when we begin to let the energy work with us, right? So just let yourself track the threads. Enjoy this. Have fun with it. As I said, these will not always be so long because I want it to be sustainable for all of you to really tune in every day. And we've got the Facebook group. You can engage and share in there. Thank you. I do too. My good friend gave this to me. And let's do this. And I'd love to hear how you're feeling right now. I'm personally feeling like very grounded, and my mind is very clear. So just to pay attention to how you're feeling, and pay attention to those, read the article, you know, like look at those questions and those wisdoms that came through from the people I was coaching last night, and just see like how you want to experience this 30 days, because we're really building a legacy and we're building a new way of understanding our value. So for now, we'll just know everything that's cleared here is permanently released and cleared, and everything we've activated and brought in is permanently with us. And we'll just send gratitude for each other, for the guides and guardians that just came in, for the technology that holds us. We know the work will continue beyond this time. We're always connected by heart, and for now we'll breathe back into existence. The door between worlds, the records are closed, and so it is. Feeling grounded, present, everything is right, right, right. Awesome. Super clear, warm blood. Ooh, I like that one, that visual. You're very welcome. All right. Thank you all. Please do share this if there's people you know have been waiting to have the invitation for this sort of experience. Let's bring our friends and family in, and lots of love, and I will talk to you tomorrow.